Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. And today we have our 500th episode, which is a huge episode. And, for me, I couldn't think of a better guest to bring on for that episode than Billings West's Kelly Darragh. Kelly, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing really good, really good. So, I guess kind of catch us up from what has gone on since the last time we talked. I believe it was around this time last year. What was the team like last year? And just kind of give us a recap of last year.
Yeah, it was we had a good year. We had a great group of young men. They bought in and they played really well. We just unfortunately came up 2 points short or whatever it was, 2 or 3 points short. But they did everything that I could ask them, and it was a special group. The way they helped me and my family and stuff like that, I can never thank those boys enough for what they did and what they mean to us. Still stay in touch with all those seniors and kind of talking to them and where they're at and keeping track on them. And we got a lot of kids from that team are back this year for us. Like I said, it was a special year for us.
That's awesome. So we'll get into the family thing a little bit later, but one of those seniors is Ben Erbacher, and there's been an Erbacher at West High for ever. So what is it going to be like to not have an Erbacher in the West High basketball program?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. We were like, it was kind of funny. Josh played with Josh is obviously the oldest, and then Zach, and then Ben. But we had a picture. It was kind of funny that when Josh was playing at the state tournament, and I think it was our COVID year. And I remember when we lost to Hellgate in the semifinal that year, and there was a picture of on that team was Josh Erbacher, Cade Tyson were the two of our players on that team, but there was a picture of Ben and Cooper Tyson as little kids. And I think Cohen Groner was actually in the picture as well. But they're just little kids there watching on their brothers and cheering us on and stuff like that. And a lot of times those little kids take those losses worse than the older kids do, and they were devastated. But to have Josh and then Zach and then finish with Ben, and Ben just did such a great job with us. He's I don't know if I've ever seen a guard. We had two of them with him and Cohen, the way they could play defense, but someone that just was able to dominate a basketball game from the defensive position of a guard. I mean, I've seen bigs do it before. Josh Eustace kind of comes to mind, the way he was able to see him funneled everything to him, but not the way that Ben did as far as being a guard. But Ben's one of my favorites. He's he goes hard, and and I tell him there's times where I want to kill him, but he's always the first kid to tell me that he loves me, and I tell him I love him and gives me a big hug. And like I said, I think the world of Ben, and he's doing well at Western. I think I was. It's hard right now for kids in high school to try and find an opportunity to play with the way the college system is set up, and it's like the transfer portal and everything, and it's I think it's harder now for a high school kid to get an opportunity than ever before. And he was just looking for a place, and Western's giving him a shot, and he's doing really well down there. So we're excited to see what he does here in the future.
Yeah, no, he does seem to be doing well. I followed him on social media, and
No,
he
I
does
can't
seem to be doing
imagine
well.
what that kid has on social media. I think most of it is his outfits, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's mostly his clothing,
Yeah. So
which
I
it's
I, I don't
funny.
really. He doesn't. I don't do much of my shopping with Ben with some of the stuff that he wears. I can't pull that stuff off.
Yeah, it's funny. His company is Bones Closet, and
Is that
so
what
with
it
my
is?
last name being Bone, I was like, where the heck did that come from?
So no, I mean I think he's doing well with it. I mean I know he like him and his mom and dad for his senior. All he wanted to do, I think he went to Japan, and part of it was to kind of go down there and do like the fashion stuff. He's big into that, like I said. So yeah, he's like I said, he's a great kid, a great young man. I love him to death, and we'll miss him.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So one of the cool things about West High's basketball program, and really any basketball program in Montana, excuse me, is you have multi-sport athletes, and one of your multi-sport athletes from last year was Moose Ludwig,
Yep.
who is one of the most decorated high school athletes probably of all time in West High's history, going to Michigan next year. What kind of a matchup problem was he for opposing teams last year? as just a junior?
Yeah, I would have to. I mean, I think he's the best athlete I've seen in Montana. I just we've had kids that are great athletes that are that are smaller and can quick and run, but for a kid that is sheer size, his athletic ability, and all the things with it, he was just a raw athlete. I mean, he loves to tell people that he's a football player playing basketball, that he's not a basketball player, but he was pretty dang good. He can, I mean, he caused a lot of problems. I think he's such a good athlete. He's the other thing that with Moose, he's so smart. He picks things up quick. There's zero doubt in my mind if he wanted to. I think if he, probably committed a full year of just working on basketball skill wise, he'd be he could play college basketball. I mean, he's just like I said, he's just a freak athlete, and I think that people kind of see the athletic ability, but the part I don't think people quite understand is just his IQ and being able to pick up things and stuff like that. I mean, for a kid that hadn't played basketball, I think since the sixth grade, he was picking up things that kids were struggling with that have been playing basketball, all their life. And I mean, he does it once and he has it. He understands different things and stuff like that. So we're really excited for him. We're excited for him for Friday night. Hopefully, we can end this football season with the state championship, and then. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I'm a big Notre Dame fan, but be cheering on Michigan, but we'll definitely be cheering on Moose at Michigan.
I know I'm a big Oregon Ducks fan, so cheering on Michigan's kind of tough for me too, but I will
Yeah.
for him. For sure, for sure. So, talk to me a little bit about this year's team because, as you said, there were quite a few seniors that have graduated, obviously, which happens every year. But talk to me about some of the returners that are coming back this year that you think will move into that more leadership role than what they had last year.
Yeah, we got a lot of kids that got a lot of time last year for us, so this is we're pretty experienced. We're going to be very senior heavy this year. Jackson, Walter, and Grayson Bauman basically got a lot of quality time for us last year and did a great job for us. We have Cash Rice coming back, who started for us, returning first team All State player. Colton Bush will be playing center. One of the kids playing that spot, and he got a lot of time between him and Moose. I mean, if you look at the numbers, they were basically about split as far as who was playing. Moose didn't really get a whole lot. He got fouled so many calls that were just. I mean, I don't know if I can swear on this, Mitch, or not, but
Yeah, you can.
so okay, so they were pretty horseshit calls, and I think he sneezed on one kid and got like an intentional foul because I mean it's like you'd run by kids and all of a sudden they'd flop and call fouls on it. So it was tough for him with that, but the one nice thing is we had a great backup center in Colton Bush this last year, so he's coming off a season where he did a great job for us, and I think he's going to be a load for people to be able to stop him and what he does on defense and everything. And he's a big kid. And then, we got like Keegan Grossman, who is, boy, he's worked hard and physically just a big kid and strong kid and a great athlete. Emmett Gibbons and stuff like that, kids that are coming in and stuff like that, that haven't got a ton of varsity time, but they've been, chomping at the bit to get their chance and they're ready to go.
That's awesome. So now I want to jump back a little bit to last year. You personally had a rough year when it comes to your family, and I want to talk about how the community and the whole state really, I guess, kind of gathered around you and really supported you, and what that meant to you to have everybody really supportive of you and your family during that terrible time.
Yeah, it was a long year. Still kind of going through it right now. But I mean, I don't know if I can put into words what it meant to us, what happened around the state. Our coaches really stepped up and helped out, and Kelly Grossman. I mean, they kind of started a little drive for us I wasn't aware of, like doing T-shirts, and next thing you know, we're going to places like Bozeman, and Troy's got Bozeman team wearing, and Gallatin's got them on, and going to Great Falls, and they all did that. Butte community, kind of, we're from Butte originally, and I still consider Butte one of my homes and one of my favorite places on earth. And the support we got from there was unbelievable. And Helena and Helena Capital did a fundraiser that they did on their night and stuff like that. They're like the coaches there, so It was very humbling what everybody did, and it just goes to show what type of place Montana is. And then just from the support from our boys and their families was truly unbelievable. We had parents calling asking if we need babysitters or food or this or that. Former players reached out and their parents, and it just I think I really leaned on our kids last year, because it did give me a little bit of a sense of normalcy, during when all that was going on, and I think it did for my wife as well. And there was a couple of times where my wife was able to come to quite a few games, and every game, like we get done, and I remember the kids would walk out, and they'd skip me right away. And I remember there was one game we were in the Metro, and Ben Erbacher walked right by me, just went and gave my wife a hug, and it just meant the world for her. And the other thing they did a really great job with our boys, I couldn't think of enough, is the way they treated my sons. They're younger now, and so they understand, but they don't exactly. And like the boys really went out of their way to make sure that they were kind of taken care of. And when we were down in the Mayo Clinic, I got tons of pictures of my son aiming at the game, whether it was wearing Moose's shirts and with him, or with Jackson and Grayson, or with Ben and stuff like that. So, like I said, I don't know if I can really put into words what it meant to us as a family, with people around the state and reaching out and stuff like that. But it definitely makes you really appreciate where we live, the state that we live in, and the type of people that we're around.
Oh, for sure. No, I remember seeing the shirts, and then I was at the crosstown game with West Senior last year, and you could just feel the love in that room. Even though it's a
Yeah,
rivalry game, you could feel it, and it was great.
no, exactly, and it was great. Like you play against senior, you play against Skyview, and you want to win and everything like that. But it was really special. Like I said, there's so many family members stuff like that from the senior community that and Skyview that reached out, and they did those things. So like I said, we really appreciate it, and we can't thank people enough.
That's awesome. So now I want to talk about, West High as a whole, really in the last few years under Principal Carlson has just elevated itself, I feel like. So, what has it been like for you as a coach to have him as the principal and see where West High has gone in the last few years?
Um, Mr. Carlson does an okay job. He's not very good. I don't think he'd be good as a superintendent, or he wouldn't be good at like a bigger school or more money. No one should ever try and recruit him or anything like that. I'm going to badmouth Jeremy as much as I can, just so nobody else would ever want him. Um, he is so special. He is. I mean, West High right now it's a feeling that I have not felt, and I mean, it's because of him. I mean, he has done an amazing job. I've known Jeremy for a long time. When I first started coaching at West High with Doug Robinson, Jeremy and I were actually kind of started it together. His father Scott was on the program too, so I've known Jeremy for a long time, and he's just such a good guy. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He always sees the positive in things, and you just see the school. He's making big changes. Just the school looks better. He's that, but it's just like on a daily basis. Like in the morning, I go out and check out the hall or something like that, and there's Jeremy at the front door greeting every single kid that walks in our school. And like, something little like that is definitely something that you can tell the difference. I've had some good principals I've worked for. I've always Mike Smith was my first principal. I taught down at Riverside forever, and I used to always joke around. I thought Mike Smith kind of ruined me a little bit, because I thought that was how it's going to be for the rest of my career. Working for someone like that. Now it's kind of like the start that way, and then the end of my career will be with Jeremy. And like I said, I can't say enough good things about the person Jeremy is, and what he means to kids. And like I said, he is West High, and I mean it's he's done an amazing job.
Oh, for sure. And another cool thing that West High has started fairly recently is the booster club. So, how does that help the student athletes having that booster club available to them now?
It has helped, and a lot of it, we don't, as coaches, know exactly what is kind of going on with it. They're doing a lot of things, but behind the scenes, and they're trying to help out as much as they can. And I think we're trying to do different things for here at West High. We were able to, I think they've got some money, the plans to, down the road, like, do things like, turf the football field. Hopefully we'll be doing something with the gym here soon. I think we've been able to raise some pretty good funds with it, but we had to kind of put a hold on a lot of things because I had to take care of Darragh Stadium first.
Right.
So did all that, but hopefully we can kind of start getting some, things here at West High. And I think the Booster Club's been really good. And I think just the different things they've had, it kind of, I think it's bringing our community of West High together rather than separate sports. We're doing a lot of things together. So that's been good.
No, I would agree. I think it's awesome that it seems like a cohesive unit. Like when I went to
Yeah.
that gala this, I believe it was this fall. I don't know. My
Oh, that
days
was
are.
unbelievable. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? I mean,
It
they
was
did a
so
really good
fun.
job with it.
Yeah. Um. And yeah, I
I
mean, it
think you
just
were
felt
like,
like,
at one point, I think I had to save you from Randy, didn't I?
yeah, you
Was it
did
the
have to
very,
save me from
yeah,
Randy.
I,
Yeah.
I thought Randy was kind of causing some problems like that. So I wanted to make sure you were okay.
Typical Randy causing problems, right?
Exactly.
No, I love Randy. He's a good
He's a
guy.
great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I just think it's great. And so I guess, as we kind of wrap this up here, one of the things that you guys do at West High, which I think is awesome, is you have, and I might get the name wrong, the Hoops Dream Camp that you put on. So talk to
Yeah.
us a little bit about that, what that is, how it started, and how people can help.
We started a nonprofit a couple of years ago, Hoop Dreams Montana, and it really started. Our oldest son, Denny, he is autistic, and that the kids on the autism spectrum. I mean, it's from one end to the other. I mean, like no two kids are alike, and we have a lot of kids that are autistic that are able to do activities and do different things like that, and come to our summer camps and even play basketball and football and stuff like here at West High. But some kids aren't, and we tried to do different things with our son, and it just wasn't something that he was able to really do. And so we wanted him to be part of something. And the Special Olympics are unbelievable, but even the Special Olympics have been a little hard for him as far as doing it. So we just decided to start this. It was something that basketball is a huge passion of obviously mine and my wife as well. She played college basketball, and we wanted to try and do something to like help kids like our son. So we started this. This year was the numbers were a little bit down. It was a little bit harder for us to kind of get a lot of information out there with Rochelle and everything that we were kind of going through. But we've had a ton of support. The Billings Clinic has helped out, but Denny Minholt Chevrolet has been a huge sponsor for us. Langless Construction has been those two have been amazing in helping out. Anything to help kids out, and so we kind of started this. We wanted to grow a little bit. Now that we're kind of back to hopefully getting close to normal, we're planning on doing it. We're going to try and maybe move it around. Do one here, obviously in Billings would always be, and then we're looking to maybe try and get one to Butte this year,
Awesome.
and do some things like that. And it's totally free. It's for any kid with any type of special needs that wants to come, and we do everything from basketball to some of it's just like having fun with kids and hanging out. Some kids want to play the whole time, and then some kids, like I said, were more interested in just kind of being in there and hanging out with people. We've done that, and like I said, this will be our third year, and hopefully, kind of gets like our first year with good numbers. Last year, our numbers were okay; they were down a little bit. Like I said, we didn't have a chance to kind of get out and spread the word nearly as much last year like we will this year. And so it's been kind of a passion project for my wife and I. And I don't know how much longer I'll be coaching at West High, and I love this part of it. But hopefully, this is something that we can continue to do, and maybe pass it on to someone quite a bit younger than me, and they can continue to do it after I'm done.
Well, I'm going to kind of circle back to what you said about Mr. Carlson. You're coaching at West forever, and you're going to stay there and be the coach because I just think you're great. But
Well, thanks. I've kind of looked at a couple different times and stuff like that, but I don't know when I'll be done. But one of the reasons that would make me want to stay is working for someone like Mr. Carlson. Like I said, he's an amazing he's an amazing man.
yeah, for sure. Well, Coach Darragh, I want to thank you again for coming on and doing this. I know you're an open gym tonight, so
Yeah, it worked out. You got to know. I don't hear anybody screaming or yelling, so we're okay. I'm in my classroom, so I hear shoes squeaking and some dribbling and stuff like that, but no one's screaming and yelling, and no one sounds like they're dying, so we're okay.
well, I should let you get back to wrangling the kids, but thank you again for coming on, being our 500th episode, which is awesome.
That's pretty
And
special. Thanks for having me.
of
Hopefully we
course,
can.
I go
Hopefully
ahead.
this year we'll do another one after we win it.
Yes, we'll have to do another one, and I can't wait for Golden Bear basketball season.
No, we're excited. I think we're gonna have a good team. I think we'll have a chance. There's gonna be a lot of good teams in the state. But I don't know. Like I said, I like our chances, and our goal is to play Saturday night. We've done it the last couple of years, playing for first or second or third or fourth, and that's always the goal. But hopefully, this is the year maybe we can get over the hump.
Most definitely. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck this year.
Sounds good, Mitch. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Have a great
All
rest of
right,
your
take
night.
care.
Yep.